Okay, so we're going to go through a brief tutorial here on how you set up Sedanal on your computer. So the first thing is that you need to be on a PC or you need to be on a Mac that has Toolbox or Bootcamp or something installed like that. Okay. Then we're going to go to Sedanal.org latest. So sedanal.org/latest, and then I think you need this other slash at the end. Okay, and so out here there are a number of files that we want to download. The first thing we want to download is the Sedanal manual. Okay, and so when I click on it, I think it's going to open it because it's a PDF. It's taking a moment here, and then we're going to store it in a subdirectory. So I'm going to click in here and I'm going to say Save As. And I'm going to go to this PC. So things are a little bit slow. Something must be backing up on my computer. This C drive. Okay, and then we're going to set up a new folder that I'm going to just give a different name. I want you to give it the name Sedanal. Okay, but I'm going to give it the name Sedanal 2 because I already have Sedanal on my computer. Okay, and I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to click on that, and then underneath there I'm going to set up a manual, a folder, a subfolder called Sedanal Manual. Okay, and then I'm going to open that up, and that's where I'm going to save Sedanal, the Sedanal manual. Okay, and then let's just get that out of the way for the moment. Okay, and then we need to go back to latest. Okay, and we want to download this Sedanal 729 zip file. Okay, so it's a zip, and when you download it, we want to say save. So it's probably going to, it's going to run a security check, and then I'm going to say open. Okay, and again, I want to move this into the C drive, Sedanal 2. We want to create a new folder, and this new folder is going to be called Program. Okay, you can also call this version 7.29 or something like that, but for the moment, let's just call it Program. And then in here, oops. Okay, let's go back here. It did not do what I wanted it to do. Let's go back to zip file. Open the zip file. Here we go. And so here are the 3 files that you're going to find in there. And I'm going to do a copy. And then I'm going to paste it into the programs file. Now I managed to miscalculate here or miscopy the Sedanal manual. We can just delete that. Maybe not. Let's just leave it there for the moment. Okay. All right, and then let's go back to latest, and let's grab this file called preferences, except I don't want to click on it. I want to right-click on it and save the target as And here we are again. We're going to go to C. Things are slow to open. We're going to go to Sedanal 2. We're going to go to Programs. And we're going to save preferences in that directory. Okay. So let's go and look. So let's close that if we've got everything. All right. So let's close that. Let's go back here. We're in the C directory. You're in a Sedanal folder. We have someplace with a manual. And we have something with the programs. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is I want you to right-click on this Sedanal. This is actually a help file. So if you right-click on it and you open it up to look at properties, down here you want to make sure that it's unblocked. So it's possible that on your computer it's not blocked. So let's go back and just make sure that that happened. Yeah, so it's gone now. So yours may just look like that to begin with. And then the application, we want to do a create shortcut. Okay, and so click on the shortcut a couple of times, and I'm just going to rename it 729. I'm going to give it a different designation because I already have 729 on my computer. But I'm going to call it 729B, and then I'm going to drag that to my desktop. Okay, and so there it is, 729B. Okay, so we have a directory with Sedanal manuals. We have a directory with the program. Okay. Now, we also are going to need to have a couple of other folders out here. So I'm going to right-click inside this box, and I'm going to say New again, and I'm going to create a folder. I want one folder that is user underscore data. So that's where we're going to actually put data sets. Okay, and then I need another folder out here. Say New folder, and I want this folder to say something about Sedanal. Oh no, I'm sorry. I want it to be ModelEditor. ModelEditor. Okay, so notice that it's model capital M-E, one word. Program, so we're going to put something in there in a moment. Program is where the executable is. Sedanal manual and user data. And now, if you open up the Sedanal manual, so I'm clicking on it to open it. And then I'm going to want you to go down to page 10 as soon as it shows up here. Okay, so let's go down to page 10. Where are we? Page 9, page 10. So on page 10, it's going to show you this same structure. Okay, you can see there's a model editor, and eventually we're going to put something called model info in there. There's a program subdirectory, subfolder that has Sedanal executable in there. We've moved preferences in there. We put a couple other files in there that are basically help files. And then we've set up a user data position, so we'll actually end up storing our data in there. And you can see that is stored here. It's shown here as a subdirectories underneath Sedanal with manual, with model editor, program, and user data. The program has a couple of files in it, and the user data will have data sets in it. Okay, so that's as far as we need to go right now. Okay, so what we have is, okay, that's going to close. Let's close this window, close this window. So now for setting this up for the first time, I think this is going to look like what you're going to see. I'm going to double click on Sedanal, and I want it to run, so I'll get past security. it says the model editor does not exist. Okay, so I'm going to say OK, and it's still going to open up. So what that means is there's no model editor, and so we're going to create a model editor. So when it opens up like this, you should see this model editor over here on the right. If it isn't visible, it's because maybe the box is too small and you need to expand the box. Okay? So then I'm going to click on that, and it's going to say, do you want me to create a new empty model editor file? And I'm going to say yes. So it says it's created it, and here we go. Okay, so here's what it looks like for setting up new models. There's no models in it yet. We're going to click New for New Model. Under Model Name, we're just going to put the letter A. This corresponds to a single species or one component. The species name will be left as A, so I clicked on Species, A, one species. It's a velocity experiment. It's going to have the parameters mass, sedimentation coefficient, density increment, which essentially corresponds to the buoyancy term, 1 minus v bar rho, and some mass extinction coefficient. We can add other parameters here under molecular parameters. Later, we'll add a model with, for example, hydrodynamic non-ideality. So let's go back to species. Everything looks okay. Notice there's a limit over here on the magnitudes of parameters. We'll talk about that eventually. And then here's the name of the model. Up here, you just say Store. You exit. And now you close Sedanal. And then you click on it again. And this time when you open it, all these icons on the left highlight. And this icon on the right is where the model editors are. We've already created a preferences file, this thing down below. We can edit or modify the preferences file. Okay, so we're basically ready to start now. And so I'm going to end right now, and we'll do the next stages in the next tutorial. All right, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to go back to the recording screen, and I'm going to